In this episode, we take a look at the group within a group, the Goalkeepers, and we'll explore the relationship between new assistant coach Curt Onalfo and the long history he shares with the coaching staff. Coming up on the road in Arizona. This offseason, the Galaxy added another experienced mind to their coaching staff in Curt Onalfo. On top of serving as assistant coach, Onalfo was named head coach of the reserve team, as he explains is a very important responsibility.
It's another opportunity to coach, and that's what I love to do. You're coaching every day, whether you're an assistant or a head coach, and that's something we're going to take very, very seriously. It's an extension of the first team. It's also an extension of our youth academy, and top clubs around the world take that stuff seriously, and you need to have people in place that are going to kind of mimic what the first team is doing all the way down to the youth system and on its way back up. So I feel like it's a really important decision to coach with that group, and it's important. I feel like it's an important part of the development of the younger players, and then also for the other players that need to stay sharp for first team games.
The University of Virginia ties run deep between the coaching staff. Not only did Onalfo play for Bruce Arena and Dave Sarachan in Charlottesville, he then went on to play for Arena at DC United. Once his playing days were over, he once again joined up with Arena as assistant coach for the national team in 2003. Onalfo tells us he's forever grateful for the impact Arena has had in his life.
Well, he was my coach when I was in college, so that's a very important time for a young man. You're kind of defining who you are. So the people that you look up to are your coaches, and certainly in that period of my life, he was a big mentor of mine and somebody that I learned a great deal from. As I've grown and matured as a person over the last 20 years, I've had encounters with him, whether I played for him at DC United or when I was an assistant coach with him with the national team, where there was different phases and different things that transpired. But our relationship is very good. We have a strong trust in each other. I think we have a similar methodology, but I'm younger and he's probably less experienced, obviously, and he's somebody that has tremendous experience. So I think that trust and that bond that we have, I think is good for the good times and the bad times. You're going to have ups and downs in MLS. It's a tough league, and you need to surround yourself with competent people when you're a head coach, and people that you can trust.
Former head coach is a person that's had responsibility before, and therefore it's much easier to delegate responsibilities at this point in my capacity as the head coach of the Galaxy. And I think coaches that have previous head coaching experience understand the issues that the head coach has, and they're willing to fill some of the voids that I have in a normal day, and they have the experience to do that.
We do go back. Years go by quickly, and you realize it's been a number of years when we were recruiting Curt and playing for us in college, and now working alongside him. And it's kind of neat to see players. Former players that have progressed and stayed in the profession and now are a part of our staff.
When you're a head coach, and I've been there, you have to manage the entire group. So you spend an awful lot of your time kind of on your core players. And as an assistant, you gotta at least I wanted my assistants to spend time with players that maybe don't get as many minutes, and just make sure everybody's getting the attention that they deserve and the attention that they need to progress. So. That's something that I feel is necessary in the role that I have as an assistant coach, and I take that very seriously. And then at the same time, obviously, with my ability to speak Spanish, I'll spend an awful lot of time with the guys that don't quite speak English the way that they want to at this point, and that's going to help as well to make sure everybody's on the same page.
This trip to Arizona not only helps with the product on the field, but also improves the relationships off the field. Stepping away from the Home Depot Center has been welcomed by all.
It's a lot of fun coming out here, being back in LA. We interact obviously in training, but we all go our separate ways more or less after it's done. But being here in, Scottsdale, beautiful Scottsdale, there's a ton to do, so not really, but all of us go out to the same places, eat dinner together, or whatever it is, and you get to see a side of guys that you don't normally get to see when you're just at the training pitch at home.
It's very important that we come out to a place like this. You don't necessarily get stuck at the Home Depot Center all the time. It's a great place to be. However, for team bonding purposes, you do need trips like this, and it helps us build as a team, not just on the field but off the field.
If you look off to the side, whenever the team takes the field for training, there's a separate group known as the Goalkeepers Union who always stick together.
Well, inside the unit, there's another unit, goalkeepers. Being a goalkeeper, it's different. And so to find that the keepers, they know exactly what you go through, so you kind of stick closer to each other. It's really like a family, this team. It's not like we're fighting against each other. We're competing, but it's like to just bring the best out of each other. So I like my unit.
The union, you stick together no matter what. It's one of those things you're always backing up the person next to you. You know, Donovan and Perky and Ian, we keep things within. We talk about it a lot because it is a different position. So we try and problem solve within our own group, and we're always there to support each other.
The goalkeeper training is different from players, so we have a different warm-up, a different philosophy, and it's a specialized position. So we try to get as much time on our own as possible to work on the fundamentals and the techniques and the repetitions needed to be, for me, the best keepers in the league. So
Ian focuses a lot on technique and doing the little things right. And I think for once you get to the professional level, you kind of take those things for granted. You think, I've been doing this for a long time, I know what I'm doing, but he really harps on you to keep the little things sharp, and I think it's great for me and everybody. He uses video to enhance training, and you can, when you're going through training, you know what you're doing, but when you actually see it done, on video, it's a little different, and you can pick out little things and make it more specific.
Some of the drills that he comes up with are so progressive and so unique to anything I've ever done. It's definitely made us as a group so much better. And he does keep it fresh because it is different every day.
The most important thing, he played and he was a goalkeeper. So he knows exactly what you go through each day. And he knows that sometimes things you need to just pick it up, and sometimes you need to just taper it off. So he knows exactly what to do. So some days we know that we'll practice and we can't walk back, but the next day it will be something different, help us recover, and yet it pushes us.
Ricketts is Jamaican, and I think part of their culture is to sit in a hammock on a beach sometimes, and we don't allow them to do that here. And Josh and Brian are just training fanatics. They love to train, and you can't really get them off the field, so they definitely push them in that aspect. And having Josh here, I mean, I still feel we have, the two best keepers in the league, and Brian has made great strides since he's been here as well, and I want it to be that we have the three best keepers in the league. So, we're getting there, and we're working hard every day, and it's a luxury to have three great goalkeepers at our team.
Next time, we catch up with the one guy here in Arizona who's yet to see the field and hear from two men with the heaviest of expectations heading into the 2011 season. All that and more on the road in Arizona.